Hi everybody, it's Jenn from McCreath. It is 11:25 p.m. But that means it's still July 1st, 2021. And I'm going to say something, some of you might people not like it, but Happy Canada Day, everyone. See our good friend Seamus O'Regan, Member of Parliament for St. John's South Mount Pearl. I don't know why I got this. I don't even live in your riding, Seamus, but I appreciate the Happy Canada Day poster on your mail out. Other than that, it's basically a rag. I mean, I don't agree with what the Liberals do or have been doing, federally and provincially, but that's not the reason. That's not the main reason for this video. I had a video brought to my attention from a group called Social Justice Co-op Newfoundland, who attended an event called Cancel Canada Day St. John's. And during the course of this 2-hour video, there were speeches, basically a lot of speeches. People from the Indigenous, people from Newfoundland and Labrador with Indigenous backgrounds, as well as other minority groups who were there to support them. Then one particular individual got up to the microphone, who I know very well. Unfortunately, it was Jude Cutler Benoit. Well, Jude Cutler on Facebook, Jude Benoit as announced. I'm not sure what name this person is going by now. This person told everyone they were part white and part Indigenous. I know Jude because Jude has spent many years getting involved with and claiming to be a member of the LGBTQ community. And unfortunately, Jude and I, we've had some conversations over the years. We got along. We even worked on events together many, many years ago. We had there was a couple of pride events. I tried to say trans pride, and it came out tried. Then I don't know what happened. Jude, I guess, decided to focus efforts in a different direction. For whatever reason, Jude took it upon themselves to basically be a troll. We've heard the term internet troll, but Jude went out of their way, along with 2 other Indigenous people, who I will identify at a later name. That's a whole other video. Basically, 3 Indigenous people, led perhaps by Jude, went out of their way to slander me and slander my work with the NDP party in the last election. Jude, in this video today, publicly desecrated a Canadian flag, attempted to set it on fire, and ripped it up, and then stomped on it. This is the same Jude that criticized me for doing the same thing to a flag of a different kind about 6 years ago. Jude may or may not have been involved with St. John's Pride. Was that 5 years ago or 6 years ago? My memory's a little blurry, but there was 1 year where St. John's Pride was very anti-police, and it was a huge issue about police. People who work for the police are not welcome at Pride. And myself and others who work for the police department, who are also LGBT, spoke out, and it led to me asking St. John's Pride, the entire board, to resign. And I burned a pride flag at the time. It got a lot of news, got a lot of press, it got me a lot of criticism, and it got me some compliments. Talk about what's that phrase? The pot calling the kettle black. The same person that tried to troll me and disrupt my campaign because I burned a pride flag is now burning a Canada flag on Canada Day. And they couldn't even do that properly. They had I don't know what it was, a cigarette lighter, but They obviously didn't rehearse, because the attempt to burn the flag didn't even work, and it ended up just being ripped apart and stomped on. But a lot of people are saying, "Oh, poor Jude, sounds like a victim." Yeah. Well, you know what? We're all victims. Trans people, Indigenous people. Heck, all these groups were there. Black Lives Matter. Still, you're going to lose your credibility, Jude. What little credibility you have left. I don't know why the hell that Quadrangle organization and Egal Canada are working with you, but you're even more toxic and more dangerous and radical than even myself. You make me seem like I'm conservative. So I better not hear you criticizing me for burning the pride flag when you're going to go out there and attempt to burn the Canada flag. My initial reaction is to say fuck you and go to hell. I've probably already told you that before, so I don't know what to say. Somebody posted on the Facebook thing that all minority groups really need to try to work together. We're all being oppressed for different reasons, but the fact that we're all being oppressed is wrong. Unfortunately, minority groups like to attack each other. A couple years back, Black Lives Matter hijacked Toronto Pride Parade and it turned into a big kerfuffle. There was violence. That gets on to the next point today. I don't know if there was violence or not. There were rumors that the police were called due to potential violence at this event today. One thing that definitely happened, that there was vandalism on the Colonial Building, as well as the Basilica Church was vandalized with, I believe, red paint. I don't know if it was the same people, if it was Jude or any of these other people that spoke, or if it was somebody else, but this is beyond anything I've ever done. I'll admit it, I've been a bit of a shit disturber. I've held marches, I've held rallies, I've held protests, but they've always been done in a respectful manner. When St. John's Pride refused to raise a trans flag as part of their flag raising ceremony, I went and organized a separate trans flag event. But I didn't desecrate St. John's Pride or their flag. I've criticized the government. I've been involved in remember that ATIP bill that they rammed down everyone's throat, and then the Muskrat Falls filibuster? I mean, I just think, Jude, you have just crossed a line. I mean, it's hard for me to be sympathetic towards you or the people you claim to represent when your attitude is so nasty and negative and literally bullying. You and your two other Indigenous friends, whose names will remain nameless, as I said, it's going to come out sooner or later. And I'll give you a hint. Internal sabotage, I may have already mentioned that, but two people within the NDP attempted to sabotage my campaign, one of their fellow, not just people in the NDP, but candidates. If you're looking to work with me or other groups, this is not a good look. Attacking other minority groups is not going to work. Jude, you've just lost what little credibility you have left, and I know you got your supporters, but I see a lot of people out there. I saw a thread from Paul Lane talking about, one, you're totally crapping over the Remembrance Day portion of January 1st, 1916. Newfoundland Regiment went to war, World War I, and lost a lot of people. And crapping all over Canada today. I did a video about a week ago. I wasn't part of the government that created the residential schools. I've never been part of any church that has been involved in any of that either. I had nothing to do with that. To blame all of Canada and blame anyone who's white, even called us settlers. I didn't settle here. I was born here. My great-great-great-grandparents settled here. My great-great-great-great-great-grandparents came over 100 years earlier, and they were probably scalped. I did my research. As bad as it was 100 years ago, it was worse 200 years ago the other way. Allegedly, the French and the English were fighting over North America, and I believe it was the French that encouraged the so-called natives to start scalping the English. There's going to be books written about this, and if you're going to tell a history story, you better tell the whole story. Don't just pick your side. Canada is still one of the greatest countries in the world to live in. I've thought quite a bit less of Canada since I came out as trans and started realizing how transphobic people can be. Even more disappointed and discouraged to see that Indigenous people are being transphobic or trans-hateful. But yeah, it's not good. This is getting worse. 100 years ago, we had the Spanish flu. Yes, they actually called it the Spanish flu. Much like Donald Trump would call it the China flu 100 years later. Guess what happened after that flu? We had a world war. Look at COVID. COVID has ruined the past 2 years for a lot of people. People are already upset and angry. And they're going over the edge. I don't want to fight these groups, but when they attack me, I have to stand up and defend my reputation. If Jude wants to make a spectacle and do something like that, I don't know what point they're trying to make. I certainly can't criticize someone for desecrating a flag, because that is something I have done in the past. However, don't call the kettle black, Jude. You're equally as radical, or more so, than I ever have been. And I consider you the biggest troll and the biggest bully in Newfoundland and Labrador. And it's disappointing and sad that we can't seem to ever get on the same page, but I'm not so sure I'd want to get on the page with you. I wouldn't want to sit down and chat with you or work with you. I don't even want to have anything to do with these organizations like eGale and Quadrangle that have brought you in on their staff, because I just don't think you're the right person to be doing any advocacy for the trans community or the LGBT community. I can't speak to the Indigenous community. If you guys want to throw paint on buildings and vandalize things and desecrate the Canada flag, go ahead, fill your boots. I don't want to attend. I don't want to be invited to these events. I can't believe someone actually invited me on Facebook. No thank you. Anyway, stay tuned. There will be more to the story. I will be doing a tell-all about what happened during the campaign. But yeah, again, that's for another day. Just had to get this off my chest. I'm lost for words, so I guess I'll stop.